My name is Marshall Walker, and I graduated from Loving Hands Ministries in Dade City in 2011. I am the program director of Loving Hands Ministries Dade City campus. My life before Loving Hands was horrible in that I started using drugs at an early age, about 14 or 15, started smoking marijuana. I got arrested a couple times, got kicked out of school. By the time I was 18, I'd been in 2 rehabs, intensive residential rehab centers. Nothing worked for me. I grew up in a home just me and my mother, and so when I started smoking weed, just hanging out after I was 18, she told me that I needed to either get a job or go join the military. Well, I didn't want to do either of them, but she took me down to the Navy recruiter and got me in. And by the time I was 19 years old, I was in Japan, attached to an aircraft carrier. And I did more drugs in the military than I did when I was a teenager at home. I actually got kicked out of the Navy and came back home. My mom enabled me for a lot of years. She just didn't want to see her boy hurt. And once I got on pain pills, it really got bad. Started mixing it with Xanax. 8 years of my life was controlled by methadone, synthetic heroin, and I thought I was going to be on it for the rest of my life. My breaking point was that, well, I was able to use most drugs recreationally. I was able to function. But once I stuck a needle in my arm for the first time, and I was hooked after that, and everything was just a chase. And so that's how I ended up getting on methadone, going to a clinic where a nurse would legally give me the drugs that I needed. These drugs, I needed them. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to wake up and go to work or function at all. I heard about Loving Hands through a testimony service at a church that I went to, and they wanted to take me then, but I wasn't willing to go. But God had showed me after I came into the ministry. I saw that God had put the place in front of me that I could go to when my mom finally said that she couldn't do anything else for me. The impact that Loving Hands has had on my life is that it gave me a whole new life. You know, Jesus saved my life, obviously, but He used Loving Hands, and also the founder, Pastor Wendell Wilson and Miss Nancy, the way they loved me unconditionally and brought me into their home as family is truly what caused me to have a passion to want to serve Jesus. What I've done since I graduated Loving Hands is been able to serve in a lot of different capacities. I've been able to serve with Ms. Kim Wilson Dotson, Pastor Wendell's daughter and our president. I've been her personal assistant for many years in the office, and then was able to go to Dade City, where I originally graduated from, and to be trained under Garrett Hamblin. And now I am the program director of Loving Hands Dade City, and leading other men to be disciples and showing them that if He did it for me, if He did it for me, He can do the same thing for them. I'll leave you with the scripture. It's in Romans 12:2. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. And then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.